we go. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to yet another 42 Level 1. I'm one of your hosts, Alistair Kennedy. It feels like we've not done this forever. Like, this once a week doesn't suit anymore. It's been my fault and your fault. But here with me, as always, the former Twilight Princess of all games, the current Twilight Princess of YouTube, the former CEO of Xbox, the man of many names, but we just call him one, Andy.
Mr. Andy Urquhart here, as always.
I can never remember, and I know I could probably go back and watch those shows. There was another name that I was meant to add to that. I can't think of what it was.
I think you've given me plenty of names. It's fine.
No, you need additional. But anyway, I hope everybody's okay. Thank you for joining us. We got excited. We thought we'd hit our goal for the end of the year subscriber count, and then YouTube filtered out bots the other night. We're close, and I'm sure we're going to make it. This isn't me begging to hit subscribe, because if you listen to the show and you don't like us, don't hit subscribe. But hit subscribe if you want to know when our videos are coming out, which is usually a Tuesday, spoilers, and occasionally a Friday, but sometimes work and life gets in the way. This Friday I'm hoping we do another one, because it feels weird having a full week between shows now. I don't know why, it just feels like, I was like, oh, we haven't done a show in so long, have we missed one? And then it's like, no, we did one last Tuesday, but yeah, we'll hopefully get one out on Friday as well. So, we're here to talk about our week of gaming, Andy. Week of gaming. We'll save the news for Friday, because I definitely want to do a show on Friday. I can't do just one show a week now. It's not enough. Not enough for me. So, I haven't played terribly much, to be fair. But I know you've played some juiciness, hence the name of this show being 13 minutes, Andy. You've played one of the newest games that I've not gotten around to, so I don't have an opinion on it. I've did 3 things in this game, so my contribution is I walked forwards and I took a key out of a plant, and then I went, Leo's awake again, so we're getting lots of teeth in for the wee one, so that's fun. He just hated life today, and everybody that was near him, so that was my day today. But Andy, please tell us all about your experience in 12 minutes, and how long you thought I'd played it for.
I mean, dude, it's weird because in 12 minutes, the game is a lot longer than 12 minutes. But each loop is a lot shorter than 12 minutes. So it's a strange, timey-wimey game. But anyway, once I completed the game, because I've finished it, once I completed it, I was like, oh, I wonder like who else has been playing it and completed it. And I'm like, oh, Ali's played it. And it says Ali's played it for like 3 days of in-game time. I'm like, okay, he's just left it sitting on. Like, but I wonder if he's actually played it. And you've just answered my question. Have you fuck?
I mean, it seemed kind of cool. Like, you'd been going on about it, you were more excited, but the voice casting and stuff. And I was like, do you know what? I'll try it day one. And it was one of those where I found it on, and like, you get distracted by the kids. The TV turns itself off, so you end up going to see the kids. You forget your Xbox is on, and then whatever. I haven't played it for three minutes. I don't think.
Whatever.
I don't think I've played it for 3 minutes, let alone 3 days. But.
But yeah, I did play through the whole game. It took me about maybe 5 hours to complete it. Basically what the game is you're in a top-down perspective and you're controlling a guy who is gotten involved in a situation with his missus, where a cop comes to the door and like basically wants to arrest her for murdering somebody. I think it's for murdering her father. And if you get knocked out or incapacitated in some way, then the loop starts again. The loop will also start again if you just walk out the door, which is actually a good thing because it means you can reset it quickly when you make a mistake. But it's basically a puzzle game where you're trying to do different things within the loop to learn more information, so that because you retain the information, your character retains that, so you can then use that to ask different questions to the wife and to the cop eventually, and you can then progress things a bit faster and further. So, and you work out kind of like small little shortcuts as to how to get to those points quicker in the game, because the first time you get to like the aha moment, like it takes quite a long time. Because you're like going through the motions of like, okay, I'll do this and I'll talk to the wife and I'll go and I'll sit and I'll have dessert, and then you'll get to like the moment of like the cop arriving, and you can just kind of speed that up quite a bit. But I really enjoyed it as like a kind of storytelling medium because it was very different. It was it's a game where you discover the story rather than like the kind of the story being told to you, which was cool. And I like it when games do things like this. I think you would fucking hate this game.
Do you?
Honestly, yeah, I think you would hate it. because it reminds me of like Her Story, because the game kind of is relying on you to go out your way to find different things and ask the right questions at the right time and do specific things in specific orders in order for you to uh, hit that moment of like, oh, okay, right, this is how I progress and this is how I can get like the cop incapacitated so I can like talk to him, because the cop just does not want to talk to you. He will all he will do is he will come in and he will beat you up. You cannot stab him. You can try to, but you cannot stab him. There's some interesting other things you can do in this game, like you can stab yourself. You could just get a knife and just go to town on yourself and kill yourself. Like, and you can also stab your wife to death. Like, why not?
That's why you like this game.
Yes, this is all I do in the game now. Now that I've completed it, all I do is I go in and I'm like, I wonder what happens if I stab the wife.
You're now just a psychopath.
Living out my fantasy. No, not at all. But yeah, I really like the game as a kind of storytelling medium. Like, I don't think the ending was particularly great. The way that they sort of wrapped that up, like the payoff for like going through all that was, I don't think worthwhile. But I did like the mechanic of storytelling that it had. I think that most of the storytelling they had in the game was pretty strong, but just that ending was like, I'm not a fan of that. I think they could have done something much better with it, but it is what it is. All the voice acting is really solid in it. Like Daisy Ridley, you can tell it's her. But she does a decent American accent. James McAvoy's acting is incredible though. Like you would never know that it's James McAvoy.
He's a good actor though. Like I loved that film where he was playing the guy that had the different personalities.
It's Split, yeah.
That
Split.
was great. That film.
I never saw it.
It was a follow-on to that Bruce Willis one, I think.
Yeah, M Night Shyamalan.
Shyamalan. Shyamalan.
Yeah, I really liked 12 Minutes. Perfect Game Pass game, like because it is one of those games where you're either going to really enjoy it or like you're going to like be out in 20 minutes. I believe the game is £25 if you were going to buy it or something along those lines, maybe £20. I would definitely not recommend buying it. Just get Game Pass.
Yeah, just get Game Pass.
You can get Game Pass on PC, and I'm sure it's on there as well. It's on Xbox and whatnot. So yeah, do not buy the game. Just Game Pass the game. It's a perfect Game Pass game because it's pretty short, but it's fun and interesting. And you can stab your wife in the game.
Terrible. Cool.
But yeah, so what do you want me to do all my games, or do I go back and forward?
You can go backwards and forwards. I'm just currently trying to make a logo thing.
Okay.
So yeah, this week I've played a lot of Avengers. I always play Avengers because it's kind of like my easy go-to game when I don't have time and I don't want to think. Because I'm not a fan of grindy games, you know this. Like, people that listen will know I hate games where it's just like, look, grind. Like, Destiny became this for me. And don't get me wrong, this is a very grindy game. Like, it can be at a certain stage. Like, once you've finished the campaigns. I would say if you don't like grind, then ignore levels and collecting stuff and just play through the campaign and then the 4 DLCs and you're going to have a good time. But for me, I like the characters. I like the combat, the way it feels now since they've had the Series X update that we've talked about on this show extensively. Like, go for the 60 FPS. Like, 4K barely makes a difference. 60 FPS because it's a combat game makes all the difference. And, like, two of my probably least Marvel favourites in all of Marvel, like, lower than probably Ant-Man in the comics, are Black Widow and Hawkeye. Same applies in the movies, and in the game it's the complete opposite. Those are like my two favourite go-to characters to play as, and I got my Hawkeye up to like basically level caps 50, and then you move on to champion levels. And it was actually when I was playing with the fine man over to my right here, we were playing through a mission that I'd get stuck at because I usually play with the AI. I don't normally play online with people, which is cool that a game like this allows it, that you don't have to play with people. You can continue playing the main missions, but this mission was solid. went past really easily for us when we were playing. The guys we were playing with was maybe annoyed with me because we kept running forwards, and one of them left before the boss battle because he was at a treasure chest, and we were like, fuck it, cheese it to the elevators. Plus, Andy was slightly lower powered. It was the I can't remember the name of the mission, but you're fighting Monica, Scientist Supreme, and when you're playing with the AI, you get 4 like insta kill things, and you have to hide behind the pillars, and the AI doesn't hide, and you have to constantly resurrect them. So it's quite tough, but we managed it first go. So that was kind of my last remaining main one that I wanted to do, apart from my elite hives, which are just kind of like your different, excuse me, hive installations, and you have to go down like 5 floors fighting different waves of bosses. So I've got those to do. Listen, I get bored with this type of game normally, and I don't know what it is, because I can't even say that I'm overly interested in the likes of Hawkeye or Widow or the characters I'm playing as, and I don't find like even playing as the Hulk in the games particularly great. But I really enjoy still playing it. Finished the Wakanda DLC, and I was kind of hoping Black Panther would be more fun. I think the problem with him is I don't know what I expected him to play like, but he doesn't feel as solid as like Cap in the game, and he's a bit too flippy for me. So I don't even use him, but I tried to level up Thor actually when me and you were playing, because you still get bits to do. But the thing that sucked about it that night is I wanted to jump in and play the campaign, because when you play your campaign modes, you've still got other Avengers there with you. And I think you're maybe right. The initial one with all the cutscenes, you play yourself, and then the ones afterwards you can have people. But kind of it makes no sense, because it's like, why can't somebody else play as the other Avengers? It's not going to change the story. Like, it's just how it is. But yeah. So I got to champion level 3 when I was playing with Andy, which is your above and beyond. So I've completed your standard all the way up to, I can't remember what the mastery was, the final one on your level up on your skill trees. I'd finished the mastery for Hawkeye, and then it puts you on to champion, and he's just becoming a beast, Hawkeye, and I really like playing as him. He's just my go-to, and he wasn't even a launch character. Out the launch characters, Widow, like I said, but I really want to get Thor and Iron Man up, because I think they could be really, really good at the higher levels. I just didn't like them. I still don't really like playing as them just now, but the way that Hawkeye's became so enjoyable with the more and more moves and skill sets that he's been unlocked. My only problem is, like, see, once you've got the multi-champion level, like, what then? Like, I don't think the game's fun enough for people that's on the champion. It's fun enough to level up the characters to see you get there, but it's like the characters release into the game at too slow a pace, and the content's drip fed slowly as well. Coronavirus aside, the content's drip fed slowly. So I just don't know how much longevity this game has. I think they need to. I said this to you, Andy, the other night. Was it Wednesday or Thursday we were playing? They need to roll it back from when they said every character will have a story alongside it, because that's a lot of work with voice acting, scenes, like writing a story for them. Just drop a shitload of characters and go, look, here's 10 more characters. Like, just play as them. Sorry, there's no story, but look, more characters, more costumes, like that would make it more fun. Because I'm pretty sure it's a lot of work to work on a character and just do the moveset, skill trees and stuff. So ditch the story, because that's extra work, and get everybody focusing on characters. I would say for your main guys, like Spider-Man, obviously PlayStation exclusive, but Panther deserved one. Some of your main ones a story could be cool for, but you don't need a story for War Machine. You don't really need a story for the Red Hulk. Do you know that there's like shadow characters, as you called them, from Smash Brothers? You could just drop them, no problem. Like, they've already got 3 versions of the Hulk. Like, and I know Red Hulk's a different person, but they've got the Grey Hulk, the Maestro, and they've got Standard Hulk. Like, so why not just, like, Mr. Fix-It's in it? So why not just drop Red Hulk, have it just as a different colour? I mean, War Machine's practically in it already, because you can wear the silver outfit for Iron Man. You can wear the silver one. I just don't see why they wouldn't. And like Falcon and Winter Soldier, we talked about them. They wouldn't. You could cobble them together from other characters' moves. Like, the moves are there, like, because the flying's already there with Thor and such like. And like, I don't see why you wouldn't. But anyway, we'll see what they do. Like, I would like to see them still going next year and going, look, we're going to do 2 or 3 more DLCs like Wakanda, Wakanda, because like it looks like okay, that's us done for this year. Because I know they've got Spider-Man. They said it's coming this year, but that's for PlayStation only. So for us on Xbox, it's after you finish War for Wakanda. If you play it a lot, it's like, what have I got? Because sure, you gave us a roadmap, but aside from
This is
like
the end of the roadmap.
yeah,
Like,
that's
we're at
but
the end now.
I could see it being that way, and if it is, do you know what? I had a fun run, but it's a shame. Like this game could be people shitting this game all the time, and don't get me wrong, there's they've added it. I don't even want to get into the menu, but like you can if you talk about it. But the menu they've fucked up so badly. That was one of the least issues. It wasn't even a problem in the game. And now I know it sounds a minor part, but you have to constantly like break down weapons and armor to get the parts to upgrade good weapons and armor. And like you can't just break them down when you view them. You have to go in. You have to then go into a second screen to break it down. It sounds like first world problems, and it is, but it's an annoyance. Why can't I just select it and break it down on the initial screen?
I think it's only annoying because they had it right the first time, and it was very simple and easy
Like
to
you
do.
just
And I
held
don't
X
know
and
why
it
they
broke it
changed
down.
it. Yeah.
And now it's
yeah.
like tap X to go into manage items and then hold LT to break it down. It's like, but if you accidentally tap LT, it locks the item as one of your favourites. It's like,
Yeah.
what? One button was all that was needed. Like,
Yep.
hold X and it. Yeah. So anyway, I am used to it now. But like I said, I'm worried about this game because obviously, like Andy pointed out, there's no way these guys are going to get the Guardians in the game because we've got the Guardians game out practically this month because it's September tomorrow. And I will get that game, but I mean, Avengers. I hope they haven't missed the boat, and I hope they're just quiet, and I hope they've got a roadmap for like at least till summer next year because there is potential here, but they're not winning themselves any favors by just going, War for Wakanda. I think it was struggling anyway, and then COVID obviously put a dampener on the whole thing, and there's going to be a riot, even though like people know Spider-Man's only on PlayStation. Xbox fans are still going to kick up a fuss. You know this, Andy, and so that like the history of gamers say that they're still going to be, oh, what is this shit? And see if they pair it with a story, which I'm pretty sure they are going to. The Xbox gamers are going to be even more pissed. Put it this way: see, when it comes to PlayStation, I'm going to pick it up at my local store and trade it back into them just to play Spider-Man. Because here's my thing: Spider-Man's only really fun in open world games. See, every like closed path game like this, Spider-Man ain't fun to play as because you're swinging on nothing. And like when I'm playing as Hawkeye, you know how you can zip to the trees with the bow and arrow? That's what I imagine Spider-Man being like. Do you know what I mean? Like web zip to here, and then like, you know, like what is these webs attaching to? That old sort of like meme about the old games. I do want to play the story, so I probably will pick it up on PlayStation just to play the story, and then trade it back in because obviously I've sunk too much hours into the Xbox One now to jump ship. But I guarantee people are going to make a fuss. They're like, we've had fuck all this year and now you're still sticking with Spider-Man only in Sony, so it sucks. People hated it in the first place. People fucking hated that news, because some people aren't fortunate enough to own both systems ever. Do you know what I mean? Never mind me and you that are multi-format for years now. Some folk can only get an Xbox, or some folk like might be their brothers and sisters that are in the house and they've all decided Xbox and they can't play PlayStation. It's a shitty move, but at the end of the day, Sony own PlayStation and Sony own a lot of the rights to Spider-Man, so
Yep.
it's the way it is. But I would still say Avengers is worthwhile picking up. The fact that the DLC is all free. If you never want to do this grindy stuff that I've just described that sounded boring as fuck, you can play the main campaign and have a blast. Play the campaign and trade it, or play the campaign and try the 4 DLC missions. You're going to love them. They're not very long, but they're free. There's no like extra content, well, outside of cosmetics and stuff. There's no payments for these DLCs, so I would say at this stage though, grab it on PlayStation if you can, because then you're going to get a Spider-Man one pretty soon as well, hopefully. But yeah, fun game for me anyway, and I just would like them to have more content. They did promise more, and the the Wasteland Patrols was meant to be out. No, not here yet. So anyway, I don't. No, I think they'll finish this roadmap and then throw Spider-Man out, and that'll be it. They'll maybe release like DLC costumes for a few months afterwards, and then it'll just die a death. It's a shame, but yeah. I hope they just leave the servers on until I have my fun with it. But I think I've definitely got my money's worth. Like my playtime in this game, Andy, is a legit 8 days of my life now. So I'm not arguing with that playtime because I have put that time into it. I've not regretted any of it. It doesn't feel like my yearly sports game where I'm like, what am I doing? Like, why am I wasting so much time? There's no story games. What I'm liking about it is you always feel accomplishment, even if it sometimes feels like rinse and repeat robots, like Rock'em Sock'em Robots or Rock'em Sock'em Robot Tower, or now they've added Rock'em Sock'em Spider Robots. I still enjoy it. It's characters that I like for the most part. Lexi's shown an interest in specifically Hulk. I think one of her wee pals at school likes Hulk because she always goes on about him. And she likes that Agents of Smash show with the Hulk in it, but she doesn't like when Hulk talks. She just likes when Hulk says Smash, and like she likes angry Hulk basically. So, yeah, that's about all of. I have played another game that will surprise you in a wee minute or two, but like I'll pass it back over to you. Sorry, I am extremely tired. I'm just trying to think of what I was going to say there, but yeah, Avengers game. It's a good game. I would say it's one of my favourite superhero games of all time. I really would. I really enjoy it that much. Even take away the after game content, the storyline was phenomenal with Kamala Khan.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, I'll pass you over to Andy.
So the other stuff that I've played has mostly been in kind of smaller chunks. So what I'll do is I'll cover it on
I've played 2 games.
PlayStation, and then I'll cover it on Xbox. Yeah. So essentially, it'll be 2 games. So on PlayStation, I don't know if I told you this in the last show, probably not actually. But I think I messaged you about it. I did pick up a PlayStation Now subscription because they had it on the deal for £1 for a month.
Yep, why not for £1? That's the right price for it.
Yeah, I mean, like for £1, yeah, fine.
Sorry,
like,
YouTube, this is apple juice.
Normally, I think it's £8.99 normally. There's nothing on there where I'm like, oh, I really need to play that. But there's a bunch of games where I'm like, I'll play it.
Yeah. Yep.
So me and Bethany had a look around some of the stuff, and we played some Team Sonic Racing.
It wasn't the best Sonic Racing game, but it was okay.
It's okay, yeah. It's like not as good as Mario Kart. It's not as good as Sonic Racing Transformed.
Or All Stars, the one where
Sega, Sega All Stars Racing, the first one. Yeah, it's all right. Like, I think it's a mistake just using Sonic characters. I think it's more fun if they have all the
Alex
same
Kidd,
characters.
Shenmue. Yep, I loved that.
But it's all right. And like in one of the levels that we played, like it had a remix of the Supersonic Racing theme tune. I was like, okay, this is a bop. I like it.
Did it have "Can You Feel the Sunshine"?
I haven't come across that yet, but like we only played it with like a one Grand Prix basically, and we're like, okay, let's move on. We also tried Frogger Returns, Ali. Frogger Returns, which was out on the PS3 as a digital-only game.
I don't remember this. I remember. I know what Frogger is.
Yeah, it's basically Frogger but in 3D.
Whoa!
But you're still looking. I know. We're still looking top down, but it's like a 3D Frogger model and 3D cars and 3D like everything else. So we tried that, and we completed like the first level basically. That was it. It's funny if you play in co-op though, because your frog can kill the other frog.
Killer frogs from outer space, Andy.
Yeah, one
you know
frog
who you
is
need.
green, one frog is pink, and then
do you know who you need?
You can make them hit each other and they kill them.
You need Captain Bucky O'Hare to sort out your toad problem. That's what you need.
Yes, yeah, that is exactly what we need. There was a game of that on the SNES, which was I don't know, I never played it. Did you ever play that one? The SNES one? No.
I didn't have a SNES.
It must not be. No, true, yeah. It might be on the Mega Drive as well, I don't know. But it must not have been widely available because I don't think I ever saw that in the shop.
Why is Bucky O'Hare not made a comeback? Like, why is someone not jumping on that, man?
That's because it's a green rabbit. Like, Bucky, people might think it's radioactive.
Captain Bucky O'Hare.
It's a fantastic song, yeah, totally.
But I liked Dead-Eye Duck.
Oh, yeah, Dead-Eye Duck's awesome. And, like, Bruiser was the big,
he used to go,
big guy.
Ooga!
Yep.
And then
and I like the
Wiley,
Blinky,
Willy, what's his name? He had the
Willy DeWitt.
Yeah, he had the Bruiser at the. I can't remember the species of the guy, but he had like that outfit.
Yeah, it was like basically a orangutan sort of thing, like a
And
big
my
ape.
friend had the toad hopper. It was like the spaceship that when you put it down, it'd rub and it went.
Yep. But yeah, Frogger Returns. Sorry if you like Frogger. We also tried a game called Wuppo, that is a 2D platformer where you play as like a little thing that looks like a cotton ball, which looks very cute, but like the game didn't really make any sense.
Yarny.
Yeah, kind of like that. But the game made less sense and it didn't have very clear direction and it was just nonsense. And we gave up on that one
Fuck
after a
Yarny.
while.
Sorry, man. That thing's a piece of shit. That's worse design than Sackboy.
Yeah. Also on PlayStation, two other games I played a bit more time into. So I've still been plugging away at Judgment. I'm on chapter 6 now. I don't really have too much more to add to it, other than that, like that's where I'm at now.
Do you know of a fun court case
so
this week to tell us? No cake argument.
No cake argument or anything this week. I don't think.
Tune
I had
in next week for you did last week, but tune in for Andy's court case of the week next week. Hopefully, we'll hit one.
Yeah, I don't think I had any interesting court cases this week. No, I had a big flashback scene that was a bit boring, but like I understand why they're putting it in. I'm like, okay, I need to know this information. It's like a background.
You like the info dumps in these Yakuza games? That was. Your
I do, but I love it, but like I don't need to talk about it on the show
because no one else.
It's not interesting for me. It's not interesting for me to like regurgitate that on the show. And then I did go back to Bloodborne yesterday.
Yeah, you mentioned me earlier today. I was surprised. Well, good. Maybe good.
Because
I'm like, what you're about to say, but
I'm like, okay, it's time now. I need to try and get through Bloodborne because I'm nearly at the end. I thought I was actually on the last boss, but it turns out I wasn't. I was on Mergo's Wet Nurse or whatever it's called, which is basically you go up to a pram and then there's a big like demon thing with scythes that comes and attacks you. So I managed to do. I didn't defeat that the last time when I was playing. I think I'd done it. I tried it 2 or 3 times and couldn't do it. I got it this time on my second attempt. So I went in, got killed by it, went back in, beat it. Like, cool. I was really low down on health when I beat it as well, so I was very pleased. And it sort of hung for a moment as well, because like I killed it just as it was transitioning to another phase where it goes dark. And like the health bar stayed up, and I'm like, oh, is there more to this? I'm like, but the bad guy's health bar is like empty, but it's still sitting on the screen, and it didn't come up and say "Pray Slaughter" or whatever it is. I'm like, okay, where is it? I'm running around like dodging and like looking around for it. Where is it? It's coming down. It's gonna one shot me. And then it just came up and it went, "Pray Slaughter," and I'm like, all right, okay, that was very weird, but so I did defeat that. And then basically after that, you go back to the Hunter's Dream, and the Hunter's Dream is on fire for some reason. And then there's one more boss to fight, and it's within the Hunter's Dream where it's like it's another hunter basically you have to fight. And he's fucking hard. Like, he moves around so fast, it's ridiculous. And I think I've tried to fight him about 7 or 8 times now, and I haven't been able to beat him yet. So,
do you know what? Like, it's
more work is required. But he is the final boss.
My challenge was to finish 1 this year, but finish 2, right? But it's an achievement that you've actually went back. To be fair, you had played a chunk of this before, but like the fact that you went back and you're this far on and it's an achievement in itself, because I made an attempt at Demon Souls and I got to like the 3rd area, and I don't think I was particularly stuck by any means, but it takes a lot. Like, to go into Demon Souls, it's like, see the equivalent of school. Like, I'm not saying like music or like those sort of classes were easier than maths, but they were. Well, they were to me. Do you know what I mean? Like, I didn't find them as challenging as like maths. And the difference to me of playing like something like Avengers is like going to your art exam and like playing like your Bloodborne, like you've done your study and you still might fail. You know, like, you know, you're going to struggle all the way through this. You're going to use the whole time, whereas your art exam, you went down, you wrote some nonsense, you handed in your stuff and you went, see you later, fuckos, that was it, done. That's the way that I look at this. It's like, so Demon Souls for me was, I like the game. I'm not trading it by any means. I might chip away at it in bits, but I think Elden Ring's going to be the one that I'm going to dive in like close to launch and play. And I think at this time of year, like, I doubt that you're going to finish a second Souls game by the end of the year at all. I know some people. No, some people are like, you've got like 3 months left. What are you talking about? I'm like, yeah, but that's not how me and Andy play. Like, there's no way that we could start a game. unless we played nothing else and we played it every single night, which is not going to happen.
I mean, so you obviously put out this challenge like at the beginning of the year, right?
I did, yeah.
And we made a video and talked about it then. And like I started playing Bloodborne basically immediately, like the next week essentially.
Yeah.
And I've played it like pretty much. We obviously stopped in the videos like maybe a month or however long ago it was. But I've easily put in 50 hours into that game this year. Plus, I think I had 50 hours into it before, so I'm easily 100 hours into the game. So, and I'm still not done. And like for me to commit, like, and it's going to take me say 100, may take me another 5 hours, maybe 10, to beat it by the time I go and like do whatever leveling up I need to do and then manage to defeat this guy. So that let's say it's 100 hours for me to complete Bloodborne, right?
Yeah.
Assuming I can beat this guy and complete it. Then you're easily talking the same again to do any one of the other ones.
Yeah.
Like whether I was to go to Demon Souls or Dark Souls or Dark Souls 2 or 3 or whatever. For me, I mean, it might take a lot of other people a lot less time to do it. But for me, it's easily 100 hours, right? I don't think I've got 100 hours left in the year that I could funnel into a game like this.
I don't know. Well, like this, but I guarantee you funnel that into Fortnite by the end of the year.
Possibly, yeah. Like
you play it every Wednesday though.
Like,
you fed up
yeah.
or not? You do play it every Wednesday, but like
it's more the social aspect. I enjoy that. The looks chatting back and forth with my pals.
I kind of gave up in Fortnite. Like I'm like, yeah, it's okay, but I'm spending more money than I'm actually like playing the game.
Yeah, Bloodborne. Like I would highly recommend it if you want a game just to like absolutely sink your teeth into. Like it costs about £10-15 now, and like yeah, there's 100 hours. Fucking go for it. And it isn't as hard as what it initially seems to be, although it is still hard. But
Yeah.
I've managed to get all the way to the last boss, and I am by no means good at any type of these games.
No. But it's an achievement. If you finish this, then I take if I had a hat on, I would take it off. But like, it's an achievement still, and I bet you feel good when you actually finish it. So you can say, I beat Bloodborne, and you'll bring it up constantly over the remainder of the show.
Yeah, and I will immediately, as soon as I completely came out, delete it.
Never look at it again. But I think Elden Ring. I have got an interest in these games now. I did really enjoy bits of Dark Souls, but Dark Souls was a lot more of a grind than Demon Souls. I felt like very grindy game to progress, whereas Demon Souls, at least for the first maybe quarter of the game, because I did put hours into that, like I didn't feel the need to grind as much once I get used to the way the levels work. I mean, don't get me wrong, Demon Souls is harder because if you die, you go back to the start of the level. It's not like you've got fires or anything in that game, but Dark Souls was tough. But Elden Scrolls,
Dark Souls has bonfires, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it's got bonfires a bit like Bloodborne, but like Demon Souls, it's not. You've got a start of the level and you've got an end of the level, and that's it. And sometimes you play the levels in stages. Like you'll beat a boss and then you get transported back to the sort of like hub area. And that'll be the next time you go in, you'll be able to progress to the door that was behind the boss to go to more of the level and stuff. So, yeah. Cool games. Like, I would recommend Demon Souls on PS5. It looks amazing as well.
I don't find that appealing. Like, I like the checkpoints. I think without the checkpoint, like, that's that old school game design that I don't want to fuck with anymore.
Yeah, no,
I don't want to touch that.
That's fine.
I need the checkpoint because, like, worst case, I can run past some of the enemies and get to the checkpoint and go, okay, that's fine, and then they can kill me, and I'm like, okay, I made some progress.
Yeah, but no, Elden Ring seems like that's the one that will be all the hype and everybody will want to play. So that'll be a cool one to check out when it arrives. Maybe next year.
Yeah,
next year is stacked AF, as the kids say, with games because of everything being fucking delayed. Because I get reminded it's actually being shown tomorrow. Gotham Knights further gameplay, because it get delayed. It was meant to be about now, and it get delayed to next year. I think it's going to be early next year for that, but I don't want to miss out on that, and I hope it doesn't get overlooked because Gotham Knights looks cool as fuck. It looks like it says it's not a sequel to Arkham. The Suicide Squad one is, that looks nothing like the Arkham universe. This one looks like it takes place you know when Bruce blows up the mansion and pretends he died in like Arkham Knight at the end, this picks up from there. So to me, it's like, how is this not Arkham? Like it's got the Arkham Robin and everything, and then it's like, no, Suicide Squad's Arkhamverse, and I'm like, Suicide Squad looks like Sunset Overdrive. Like what? I know we haven't seen gameplay, but the trailer kind of gave that feeling of Sunset Overdrive.
Yep.
So, yeah, I'm taking it for what it is. In my head canon, Gotham Knights is the next Arkham game, and the fact that me and you can play together, that's awesome. That's cool. Is this a PlayStation game for us, do you reckon? Because I've played most of the Arkham games on PlayStation.
Yeah, I've played them all on PlayStation.
Yeah. I'm not fussed with about it, like, really.
Let's wait and see how our hard drives are looking.
Hard drives, yeah, that's true, because this is not going to be a small game. This is going to be like a full Gotham, 100 at least gigabyte. Yeah, we'll look that way, because Xbox, it's easier to get stuff on Xbox.
Yeah.
Because they've still, even though that beta test for the memory sticks, still not rolled out. Still not rolled out.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be too long, though. I think we'll see that by the end of the month, like by the end of September, we'll have that in our hands. And then,
which is
and then you've just got
August.
Yeah, but I mean by the end of September, and then you'll just have to spend £200 on a memory, like a SSD.
Probably more than that if you want it to last. To be fair, but
£200 is the one that Mark Cerny bought. Like it's 200 odd. So,
but
that's the one I'll be
sent to him. Come on, let's be honest.
That's the one he's hawking. So that's the one I'm buying. He's
That's
the
the one.
architect.
This is the one that I told you about. Remember, and they had on their website saying PS5 compatible, and then they had to take it off the website, but they knew that it was faster than the internal. It's the WD black one, as far as I remember. That's the one that I was always going to get, and I wish I'd bought it back when it did, because see, the minute that announcement came out, they sold out. So we'll wait. But anyway, I'll talk about what I've been playing, then I'll throw it back to you as well. So I played the new Marvel's Future Revolution game on phone. I liked it a lot for a phone game. Really liked
for a phone game. So is that fucking caveat? Like, sorry, for a phone game.
No, it is. I've played it most days. Like, I know Nelson's playing it. He actually asked me if the Razer Kishi worked on it, and it does, but they don't have full controller support. So it's like you can use the left analog stick and the camera basically, but you have to use touchscreen. So they said that they might be looking at controller support in a future update, but it controls fine. There's a story to it which was quite fucking cool. Like the beginning of it had like a QTE sort of like cutscene you would expect at the start of the Avengers game or something. You choose like your 4 characters. There's other slots as well. So once you've picked them, that's who you've got. So I think there's 8 to pick from at the start, and each of those have their own kind of chapters that tell their story. So like my Spider-Man started probably New York, and then like my Star-Lord, he get dropped in, I don't think it was Wakanda, but it was somewhere crazy like that after the initial start. It's fine, man. Like, it would be better like if folk were jumping on you were playing and doing things with people. It reminds me a lot of Ultimate Alliance. Like I would argue that I enjoy the story in this better than Ultimate Alliance on the Switch, Ultimate Alliance 3, which tried to tell its own story but ended up trying to rip off the MCU and didn't do it properly, whereas the first 2 Marvel Alliance games done Secret Wars and Civil War, and it was far better. Like Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2 was the best one. 3 just became a bore. This has actually got a decent story in it about convergence. You remember the convergence in the comics?
Yeah.
It's taken from that. So like the Earths are coming together, and they're so close that certain areas are merging in. So you've got like a whole land of people that's basically like World War Hulk land. One's an Ultron planet, you know, that sort of thing. And these are all coming into areas in the Earth, and you've got your team, like Tony Stark's kind of running. It's not a shield.
Hammer.
It's not hammer or sword. I can't remember who it is. Fucking annoying. I'm not loading up. But my guys I chose was Spider-Man, Star-Lord, Cap, and I haven't used my 4th one, so I can't remember. Maybe Iron Man? No, it wasn't Iron Man. But you get like Iron Man, you get Storm, you get, I think, Widow and Doctor Strange. I maybe chose Doctor Strange. So yeah, it's quite cool. You get like your side quests, you get your main quests. you've not really fully open areas, kind of like Ultimate Alliance style areas, but they're kind of when you go to like say New York, you've got your main part where all your vendors and stuff are, and it's like, I need you to go and do this. Like, can you go and do that? But you've always got your main objective, so you don't need to do side quests. But I tend to do them because it gives you extra XP, gives you extra items that you can equip to your characters. They've got more costumes than the Avengers game that's been out for over a year now, Andy. I mean, they've already got the new No Way From Home black and gold multiverse suit that's not fully been confirmed outside of the glimpse in the trailer, but cosplayers are already wearing it. But I mean, this mobile game has that. And Marvel Avengers does not have these costumes. They've only just clicked onto that people want to buy costumes from the films. But it's got like your battle modes, your arena modes. It's Ultimate Alliance. Is the easiest way to say it. It's free. I would say download it, play it, try it. It's a phone game though, so it's as good as it's going to get. Like, you know our kind of opinions on phone games here, really. If it's anything above Tetris, or it's not really worth it unless it's the room. This would be better on Switch. I would rather this game was on Switch, but it's not. So,
have you spent any money on the game? That's the big question.
Yes. Just the initial pack of, your initial starter sort of pack of like $3.49 or $4.99. I bought that one because I thought, do you know what? I'm enjoying it. I'm going to play it. So, yes, I have. Not as much as I have in Marvel's Avengers though, who got me again tonight because we were commenting the other night about how bad Black Panther's standard costume looks. You're like, oh shit, it looks silver. What did they do? They must have listened and they went, oh, guess what? Look, they see the costume from the Black Panther movie. It's out now. I went, I don't even play as him, but I need to have that. So I bought that tonight.
I mean, I don't care that much. I won't play as Black Panther enough to care. In fact, any of the characters, I won't buy any of their costumes.
No. Do you know what? Most of the standard ones look okay, but I'm in that game. You know I'm in. But then it annoyed me because
I would be different if Ant-Man was there. I would probably buy every Ant-Man costume.
I don't know why Ant-Man's not coming. The one that is coming that might interest you is She-Hulk, though.
Yeah, She-Hulk's cool. Like, I'd be interested to play She-Hulk. Hopefully they can fucking time it to the TV show.
I doubt it, but She-Hulk is coming. The TV show, by the looks of it's November, from what I was reading today. But the you never know. They could surprise us. I highly doubt it. I think
that would make sense. That's how you should do it. Like,
what they should have done was Falcon and Winter Soldier for that show. They should have had Scarlet Witch for WandaVision, and they should have had Vision as well. They should have absolutely done this. Like Disney have given them a roadmap with their Marvel TV shows. Like,
it's like there would be nothing cooler than be like, oh, if you like, especially for people that are new coming into like those characters and just getting to know them or getting to know them a lot more. And like, oh, here's a character, like you get to know them over the course of the show, and then at the end of the show, like, by the way, like if you really like this character, like you can go to comics for more. But also, like we have this video game here that whereas you can play as She-Hulk. Like, or you can play as fucking Scarlet Witch, or you can play as Moon Knight, or whoever.
Falcon, Blade, whatever. Well, Blade's a movie, isn't it?
Yeah, Winter Soldier, like any of these people who you like.
Loki. Why did they not just throw Loki out? They could have easily done Loki.
I mean, they put him in Fortnite. Like, right, fair enough. And She-Hulk's in Fortnite, but like,
really,
it's not. It's a
Loki with a gun.
Like,
yeah,
it looks
I mean, I've got an NBA player with a gun in my game, but like, and it's not. It's not LeBron. I didn't bother with LeBron stuff. But like the point is, like, you're right. They should have had Loki ready to go for the Loki TV show, 100%. And this is what I mean by they didn't need to do the whole story for Loki. They could have just dropped Loki in there when the TV show was coming out and let you play as Loki. People would have loved it. Because everybody in Marvel's joined the Avengers at some point. That's the thing. Like, there's probably less than 10 characters in the main Marvel roster that's not at least once temporarily joined the Avengers. Do you know what I mean? Even Spider-Man's joined the Avengers, so, and they're using him. So if you can use Spider-Man, who was like, okay, the Avenging Spider-Man series, but he wasn't proper. He wasn't a proper frontline Avenger, like, but he was there. Anyway, he was during a changeover. I'm sure Red Hulk was in the Avengers at that point as well. But anyway, because that was after the Circle of Four stuff. Anyway, we digress.
Yeah. What other games did you play? You played what? One more, you said?
Yeah, I played one more game. I played FIFA. I played FIFA, Andy. I started a career mode.
What?
Yes.
Which FIFA?
Uh
2021?
the one for the
Oh,
Xbox Series X, the new one.
The beta for the new one,
No,
2022?
no, the full game one last year's probably.
Oh, 21 then, yeah.
Yes. Played FIFA. I won 10-0 in my game. I started a career mode.
You played one game. Okay, this is the last you'll ever hear about this, listeners.
Maybe. So I played as Man United, and I played one game. I played the thing where you do, when you just control one player.
Oh, yeah, okay. I hate that mode.
Yeah. You get annoyed.
It's fucking boring, man.
I was like, why can't I see my character? Oh, he's a striker. Right. And then you run down, you waste. Well, I didn't waste it. We won 10-0. 10-0.
How many goals did you score? Like
6.
7?
6.
6, yeah.
I scored 6.
It's so stupid, man. Like, it just isn't. It's fun to do if you're actually playing football, like in real life with people. But playing it on the computer on your own with AI people, like, is not fucking fun. Like,
I think the basketball game AI is harder than this. Like, I generally.
Yeah. The AI is nonsense. It's either like too easy or like ridiculously hard, and it's no fun because you can't ever score or get past it. Like, there's no like good compromise there for that game mode. For me, didn't like it.
The reason I was playing it was obviously there's no World Cup and there's no Euros, but my friend who I used to watch football with when I liked football was saying, "Read what's happened," and I went,
Ronaldo.
Yes.
Ronaldo's coming back.
"Yes."
Yeah.
So I went. It's not quite David Beckham, but he was close enough for me. And I know Ronaldo's a better player than David Beckham, but for me, my time of football was Beckham. And I watched a bit when like Rooney and Ronaldo were playing for Man United. They were good, but Ronaldo didn't hit his peak till Real Madrid. Like, Man U, he was okay. Yeah. But now he's coming back. I was like, do you know what? That is quite fucking cool. I'm quite happy that they're getting him back. I don't care enough about football that this is going to last long. But I went, do you know what? It's put me in the mood. So I went into the FIFA download screen and I went straight into team management. And I get rid of that Cavani guy that I have no idea who he is, and I put Ronaldo in his place, and I started a career mode, and I played as Ronaldo, and I played the first game, and I won the first game. So, but it's cool. It's cool that a player of his standards doing that, coming back to the original team, and I know like Ferdinand and Ferguson and Roy Keane all phoned Ronaldo. To tell him not to sign for Man City, and he actually dedicated his return to Alex Ferguson today. That's cool, and like, see this happening, Andy. Like, obviously my team is like the class of '92. Those guys, that's the ones that I watch, and this is what I always wanted David Beckham to do at the end of his career. Arguments with Ferguson aside, and I do not understand. I don't understand why he never did it for a year, at least a year, because
he came back and played. He went back and played for like I think it was PSG and retired there, which was weird. But like this makes sense for Ronaldo.
Was it Beckham went Madrid? Well, after Man U, he went to Madrid, Milan, LA Galaxy, then PSG.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why after Galaxy he didn't do because Ronaldo will probably finish after this. He signed 2 years for United.
Yeah.
He may play till he's... Look at Ryan Giggs played till he's 40 and he's not as good a player as Ronaldo at all, but like he was good in his heyday.
Zlatan is still playing and he's like 39 this year.
I don't know if Ronaldo will take it that long because he did tell Ferguson years ago he wanted to retire at 35. So he signed 2 years for Man U and he'll probably leave after that. As long as they win at least one, and I'm sure they will. But the midfield's horrible from what I've been caught up in. Well, Craig told me that they'll at least win the FA Cup. He says they might not win the Premiership this year, but they'll win the FA Cup. But he said, wait and you see the ticket. He says, you thought CM Punk coming back to wrestling was big? He goes, wait to see Man U strips being unavailable for months. He says because people obviously buy Ronaldo tops that aren't even Man U fans now. But I was excited by that. I was like, do you know what? This is cool. I'll maybe watch. And I know when the game is that he comes back, Andy. I'm informed he's coming back on the 22nd of September against Newcastle. And I'll watch that game. And I'll go, do you know what? That's cool. And then I'll forget about football for another,
Yep.
But yeah, I think it is a cool thing. 12 years after, 12 years is probably. I never even watched it regular. 12 years ago, was that when Ronaldo left? It was probably longer than 12 years ago.
Probably be around that sort of time.
No, but when I stopped watching, it was probably longer. It was
Oh yeah.
shortly after, because obviously, sorry for the football talk, people, but see, Andy's loving it. He's like, "Wow, this is great." But like, see, after Beckham and all that kind of moved on, gigs stayed forever. They had Ruud van Nistelrooy kind of in the limelight for a while, and then they moved away and they kind of rebuilt almost the team, and they had like Rooney, Ronaldo, and a load of young guys. And I watched maybe a season or two of them, not religiously, not every night, not every night they played. But when my friends would be like, "Oh, we're going to the pub," I would sit and watch. Or if they were all going round to like Craig's to drink and watch, I would watch it then. And then I kind of went, "Do you know what, it's just not the same." And I gave up completely. And I'd always liked hockey, and I went, "That's just my forefront sport now." And then basketball came along. Well, came back along because I watched basketball when I was younger with the Bulls. But like I said, this is a cool move for a player to do, to retire at the team that kind of gave him his big start. Whether he was going to be that good or not, anyway, Manu was the team that signed him from Sporting Lisbon, I believe, in Portugal.
Yep.
So
yeah, they like Man United made him, and they turned him from like a flair player into like a really great.
Do you know what Ronaldo said? What happened was one day in the training pitch, he was doing all his usual tricks. Paul Scholes pulled him aside, and there was a tree that was 50 metres away, and he kicked the ball once and hit it square in the middle, and he says, "Try and do that one time." And Ronaldo said he stayed for the rest of the training, could not hit that tree, but he understood the lesson from Paul Scholes. He's like, accuracy is more important than style. And to be honest, he stopped doing it shortly after that. So
yeah, he still did the flicks and stuff like that
does,
too, but he did it for a purpose rather than like just for the sake of it, like to look flashy. But he won his first Ballon d'Or and everything, like when he was still at United. And he done all that, and they won the Champions League and everything. So like, they done fuck it.
The big argument just now apparently is over his number, because like 7's at Cavani just now, but apparently there's a loophole. But no one's ever been granted it by the Premiership. But as I said to Craig, I said I think they'll do it for Ronaldo, because he'll do more for the English football than just Man United, because there'll be away fans buying tickets that wouldn't normally, just to see Ronaldo playing what could be his last 2 years. They'll give him that number. His whole brand's like his CR7. They can't go have 28 for a year, mate. He's going to be like, no, one of my conditions of coming is I get that number.
Yeah. And they'll give him it back. The 100% will get that back. But the funny thing is that Cavani for Uruguay plays with the number 21.
Yeah.
Right? When he's playing internationally. And Man United just sold the player that had the number 21 shot today to Leeds, Dan James.
It seems to just fit, doesn't it?
They've cleared the space for him. Like Cavani will move to 21, Ronaldo will get 7.
However, if the Premiership don't grant it though, Ronaldo, the talk was that he would go. No, they will, but the talk was 28 because that was Ronaldo's first ever number before United. But he'll get 7. They'll get the special permission, because it's just so funny, because that player James was on loan, and then all of a sudden it's like, no, take him, and they freed up the other number for Cavani. But apparently Rio Ferdinand already told everyone he was getting number 7, because Cavani had said, "Here, take it, it's yours."
Oh yeah. I'm sure. Like, but Cavani played at the weekend with number 7.
Yeah, against Wolves.
Weird. Yeah, I think I thought they would have just left him off, like so that they wouldn't confuse things. Because maybe if he actually played wearing the top, that might confuse it a bit. But if he had been registered and not played, that might have been easier. So I'm not sure what the deal is there. Maybe they've already got it agreed with the Premier League to make it happen. But
because there is a clause that they said that you can change the numbers after, but you have to apply for it. But they would be stupid, because the Man United's argument is the shirt sales and the fan interest will go up if you give him the 7. Plus, it's the guy's brand name. So that would have been put in place before Ronaldo would have said that I want the 7, or the club would have agreed to give him it, because his brand's CR7, like his aftershave and everything. So
So yeah, he'll get 7 one way or another. He may end up with 77 for 1 year.
Oh yeah, because if they say no, then he's got a season to play without it. But he'll get 7 somehow. Yeah,
he'll be like 16, and he'll just put a plus in the middle.
The Premier, they've already registered his name on the squad, and it's number 7. But Cavani's also sitting there with number 7 at the moment. So
weird. Maybe they'll share the shirt or something. Just
Swap.
Cavani
Like
just never
he
plays.
can't play that game if Ronaldo's playing. Like they have to play alternate games. Although what they could do, because there's another loophole where players on the second team can swap their shirt numbers, so they could easily just
Yeah.
move him to the second team for a while, swap his shirt number, and put him back up after. Don't really need Cavani now. Ronaldo's here, so
Well, they do because they're both old. They'll swap about, but
Ronaldo's 5 months older than me, and he plays like a
Oh, no,
fucking
I know.
16-year-old, mate.
Absolutely, but in football terms, like his legs are gone. Like he can't like sprint the way they used to. But anyway, it's cool, and I like all the big moves that've been happening around the football world. It's
I
been the
don't
most
know any
crazy
other moves.
one ever.
Don't know any other moves.
Oh, been some insane shit going on. Like you would have never expected Ronaldo and Messi to both move in this transfer window ever.
I guarantee you there's been bigger moves in basketball this year. See the Lakers, because LeBron James has been crying. The All-Star team of 2012, 2013, every player on that team has been signed to the Lakers this year. Every player. Because LeBron's like, yeah, I'm almost 40 and I want another trophy. I hope he doesn't fucking win. I hope he doesn't for what he's done. He just stacked his team. It's fucking ridiculous, the players that he's... Like, if he doesn't win, then... But I can't... Anybody could win with the team he's got. Like, I could have played for the Lakers for a day and said, sign me all these guys and I'll win your trophy. But anyway.
But yeah, anyway, back to gaming stuff. So over on Xbox, I did play a couple of games. So like again, not a huge amount of time into any of these, so I'll combine them all as like one thing. So I played Quake a little bit. Quake is quite fun, but it definitely feels like an old game. I need to play this in multiplayer with some people because I think you could have a good blast with it. This is obviously like a sort of remaster, not a remake by any means. But it definitely still feels like that kind of old school way. But it's fun. Like pick up your guns, you run around, you shoot other people. I just played it in multiplayer modes. And yeah, it's good fun. Obviously, it's on Game Pass, as all Bethesda games are. So yeah, try it out. Also I played Myst, Ali, because you've been on about Myst. And I like my puzzle games. And I really, really, really like The Witness. And The Witness, especially at the beginning, it does not hold your hand at all. But it becomes very apparent what you have to do very early in the game. You walk up, there's a board, you have to solve the board, and then move on. That's fine. But with the other one, with Myst, what the fuck do you do in Myst?
So
basically, you get to an island and there's a sunken ship, and then there's all these panels that you can go and look at, but none of them do anything. You can turn some things on, but they don't seem to do anything. Nothing does anything. I have no idea what. I would literally have to look up a guide to begin the game.
So you're trapped in the book. And if you go into the observatory, there's other books with pictures that you can move into the book to tell you further parts of the story. You kind of have to change the island to escape. Is basically the story.
Yeah, but I tried to put other things into the books, and it gave me a passageway and stuff, and then I was able to
You change the pictures and stuff, yeah.
I didn't change any pictures, but it gave me a lift. I went in a lift, went up to the top of the lift.
Nothing in the list at start, no.
There was a dial I could move around, and it got to I pointed at a spaceship, and that seemed to be the right place. And then I went to the spaceship, and I couldn't open the spaceship.
No.
Like what?
There's a control. See when you first started the dock near the lighthouse. Did you go down the stairs to the secret room with the kind of water puzzle at the very start?
I don't know, maybe.
So you can change that to show different things and control stuff. Anyway, I played Myst as well, if I'm being honest. I don't have time for fucking
Looks
Myst.
nice.
Oh, they've
Looks
improved
nice.
it.
Yeah.
And they gave it a wee intro and updated some things, like instead of having real time video on the things, they've added CGI in-game graphics for the characters, which is cool.
Yeah.
It fits a lot better. And when I played it, it was almost like you turn left and it was like you turn right, and it was like this. You flow, you can use the right analog stick. Seeing the other one, it was almost like, how do you describe it when the game's like scene by scene? So like you turn right and it kind of just loads in the next. Rather than like the free flowing camera of you looking 360 degrees. Do you know what I mean, Andy? By that, like it's kind of like
Yeah.
old style point and click game where it's just different scenes rather than an actual area to walk about. Well, Myst kind of used to play like that. Like you push forward, it would just kind of load like a wee bit forward. It wouldn't feel like you were walking there or anything. But in this, you can walk about. I appreciate the updates. I'm not that big a fan of Myst to dive back into it, but they've done a good job for uber fans of the game. I think. I mean, I've got all of them on my Steam library, and this is not the first update I missed, but it's the nicest looking one. I'll say that. But yeah, it wasn't easy when I played it. I mean, I think I chipped away at that over the course of like a year. But I mean, I was 11, like 12. I played this on iMac Pro.
I would have played it on PC. Yeah, PC way back in the day. Like, it's not at all what I don't recall this game whatsoever. It's a totally brand new game to me essentially because I don't remember this whatsoever. So
do you know what? Why don't you look up a guide to see if it can give you a general idea and then see how far you can get?
How to begin it. Yeah, like how to maybe even just how to do the first puzzle, like because it is overwhelming because you can go to about 7 or 8 different puzzles, like right off the bat, and like you can just twist knobs and do stuff, and like nothing seems to do anything. And I'm like,
at least in this, where against the Witness, there's an actual ending, there's a story throughout, and there's an ending of it. Whereas the Witness was kind of like
the Witness teased the story throughout the game and then didn't give you a payoff for the story at all.
No.
Like,
I didn't finish it. I gave up before you, but I remember you talking about the ending at the mountain. I was like,
Yeah.
Whereas Myst has got an actual story, and it continues on to Myst 2, which was called Riven or Riven. It was on the PlayStation as well. Never played any of the other Myst, because then there's Myst 3, Myst Online, Uru, Myst 5, I think, goes up to. But yeah, you should try, see if it seems okay to Google, like, where to start in Myst, or Myst for beginners. There's going to be a YouTube video on that anyway.
I will look that up. And then the last thing I played was a brand new game that came out to Xbox Game Pass as well, called Psychonauts 2. So I tried this. I've never played Psychonauts 1, but I know what it is. I've seen like gameplay and stuff of it before. Psychonauts was a game that came out on like PS2 and original Xbox.
The original Xbox, yeah.
Yeah, and like I never bothered with it, and obviously it's on Game Pass anyway.
See, the thing is, back then, Andy, right? It was a different era, so indie games like that are unknown, like non-brand games, like games without a license, didn't sell well if it wasn't like they didn't at all. So you would have ignored it unless one of your pals had it and told you. That's the truth about back then.
Absolutely. The other thing is, back then I was 100% not playing 3D platformers like on the PS2.
No, because
I bought a PS2 day one with my own money, and I was playing sports games, shooters, and like beat 'em up games.
Yeah,
like,
I was playing fighting games, GTA, Vice City. Yeah. I was like, the day of platformers is gone. I'm like, they've now evolved video games for us adults now, because I felt like a fucking adult at the age of 17 or 18. And I was like, I'm playing these platformers from my childhood. No way.
I bought Silent Scope day one, and I was fucking...
that was a game. For a controller. Wow.
Using a controller.
That was a good game, though. But...
I hated it. Oh, I swapped it for Tekken, I think, within about... I don't know, maybe within a week. It was horrible, yeah.
Better swap.
Tekken Tag Tournament it was. But anyway, Psychonauts 2, it very much like takes you back to that era of platformer with some modernised tweaks, but it still feels very old school. It's definitely an old school sort of design. The graphics are fine. It doesn't look totally polished like comparing it to Ratchet.
Mario Odyssey.
Like it's not even Mario Odyssey, yeah, it's nothing compared to either of those two games. Like, but that's the kind of art style they've gone for with this game. It's that kind of like
grungy,
puppet sort of,
yeah, like, weird drawn,
yeah, sort of thing, like Nightmare Before Christmas type thing almost.
Yes,
that sort of aesthetic. But I like the idea of the game. Like you're going inside people's heads and like having crazy shit going on in all these levels.
Can you be John Malkovich? Is the question.
No.
Remember the movie Being John Malkovich, where they went in John Malkovich's head? Yeah.
No, you don't seem to be able to be John Malkovich. But basically, you'll go inside different people's heads, and that was the level, and you have to solve like the level, get to the end of it to complete the puzzle. And a bunch of stuff to pick up in amongst that, and you're doing like some attacks on things. You're doing some like platforming elements, some of which are very easy, and some of which are not that hard. Like nothing's been particularly hard so far. Like you've got basically a jump, a double jump, and like a glide mechanic so far. You sort of get like a little balloon bubble above your head that lasts like a certain amount of time. Bethany's terrible at doing the glide. So like anytime when there's a glide that you have to do, like I have to do it because you can't get the timing at all. Which is frustrating for her, but like it's quite quirky and like it's the humor in it's kind of funny. So it's decent so far. It's not incredible, like, and it's not like it doesn't look like Ratchet, and it doesn't feel like as good as the way Ratchet plays. But for like this type of platformer game, because Ratchet's like, is it a platformer? I don't. It's more of an action game at this point, like Ratchet. But this is a platformer for sure, like a puzzle platformer with some light action elements in it. But I like the level designs in this. Really cool. Like the first one, basically you're inside the guy's head, and it's like, oh, he's a dentist, right? So everything is like dentist themed. So there's fucking teeth everywhere, and it looks so creepy. You're going across all these like teeth bridges, and then there's all these like scalpels and tools and like little magnifying glasses and stuff, and it is unsettling. I will say that 100% unsettling because you're like, there's one point where you have to like unzip a thing, and it's like a zip made of teeth, like human teeth.
Oh, like in the Medium.
Yeah, kind of like that. Like it's maybe not as unsettling as that, because it's like a kind of more kid-friendly platform game. Like it's quite unsettling, but I've enjoyed it so far. Like what we played, and we've been like playing it together. There's no co-op or anything. Like we've just been swapping back and forth with the controller. Yeah, it's just a fun game. Like characters are cool and that in it, and obviously it's on Game Pass, so Game Pass free game. Can't beat the price.
It's no interest to me because the first one sucked. I tried the first one. I don't care if this looks nicer, the story just didn't interest me. Just really didn't. I get it's got a cult following, but I ain't part of that.
But yeah, I didn't play anything else, so that's it
Cool.
from me.
So what we'll do then, because we're doing the news on Friday, is we'll finish up right there. That's been a lovely hour. Thank you very much for joining myself and Andy. What I would say is tune in tomorrow, possibly on the show, tomorrow on the channel if you're watching this live, because we've got a video coming courtesy of the one and only Andy. He's decided that we're going to be doing the payday pickups finally. Well, we've both got time to do it, let's be honest. So yeah, you probably seen me testing icons just there, and they appeared on the screen, and I was like, oops. So yeah, stay tuned for that. It'll be up tomorrow. Thank you very much for tuning and watching. Like I said, subscribe, give us a like if you feel like it, comment if you will, and I'll reply, or Andy will. And we'll see you on Friday for the video game news. I've been Ali, he's been Andy. Bye.
Bye.